Gianolis from the Horse Race Advantage Company. Welcome back to our video series on handicapping. Today we will be talking about the Moss figures. There are 3 sets of speed ratings that are well known in the handicapping industry, and the first one was the buyer ratings. Today we will be talking about the Moss figures. When we talk about the running style, there are 3 types of running styles: the front runner, the middle of the pack runner, and the closer. The front runner is the horse that comes out of the gate fast and is generally up front, coming out of the gate, and they normally don't have a whole lot of stamina once they get past the mile. The middle of the pack horse is the one that stays in the middle of the pack and generally stalks the front runner. And then the closer is the horse that comes from behind and normally comes out of the gate slowly, but makes up the distance as he goes along, and by the time that he enters the stretch, he should be fairly close to the front. Setting the pace is the relative speed of the early movers in a race, and they are generally set by the front runners. So when we look at the speed ratings, we can also look at the Moss figures besides the buyer ratings. Moss figures are established by Randy Moss, and they are established for the daily racing form. They've been there since 2007. These Moss figures are available for most major tracks, but not for all tracks. And they are for dirt races, and the turf races, Randy Moss is working on those, so they're generally not available yet. This is 2012. The Moss figures tracks the pace of a race at points of call, while the buyer rating pretty much gives you the end rating. Moss figures try to actually break them down at the points of call. They establish par figures, which are the average statistical speed ratings at the point of call. So he has collected a lot of races and tried figuring out a statistical number that he identifies as par values. So when he actually lists them with a race, he expresses them as a par value with a plus number or a minus number, meaning that the value the horse actually ran slower or faster than the par value. He identifies his fractional pace within a race. So when we look at the Moss figures, the distance are from 5.5 furlongs to 8 furlongs. The par values for 5.5 furlongs is 87, 80, 88, 6 furlongs, 85, 87, 88. 6.5 furlongs, 82, 86, 88, 7 furlongs, 79, 83, 88, 8 furlongs, 67, 76, 83, and 88. So what is of interest here is that the numbers going from 5.5 furlongs to 8 furlongs, when they start coming out of the gate, they actually come down in number, and that makes sense because a horse is normally starts normally slower in a long race, and in a short race, in a sprint race, they actually have to come up pretty fast, and so if they are not very fast at the beginning, they generally lose the race unless they're a very strong closer. So this gives you insight into the horse's running style. So if the horse runs this way, you know he is a closer because he comes from behind, 67, 76, 83, 88. Here, as a sprinter, a typical sprinter has to be fairly close to the pace in order to win, unless they're very strong closers, but he doesn't have a lot of time to actually make up in a 5.5 furlong. So in evaluating horses using the Moss figures, you consider the horses with the best current buyer ratings. And looking at those horses with the best buyer ratings, you evaluate the running styles for horses with the highest buyer ratings under consideration, and then look for horses that are mid-pack or close to the pace when entering the stretch. And again, they have to be fairly close to the front when entering the stretch unless they have a fairly strong closing kick. using the Moss figures, look for the fastest fractional pace in the stretch. And so the one with the closing kick really has the fastest fractional pace. The highest plus value above the par for last point of call before the finish is the one that has the fastest speed in the stretch. So when we take a look at an example here, we have the Moss figures here. The race shape identifies the speed figures of the winner for this particular race here on 24 August 11, the third race at Saratoga, which was the mile and 8, and was an allowance company, non-winners of 1. So the winner here ran 8 points below the par value. At the second point of call, he ran 1 point below the par value, and coming into the stretch here, he actually ran 2 points above the par value. So he was actually a good closing kick here. When we look at the pace line here, this is the speed figure of the horse that's under consideration. And we look here at 57, 67, 82, 88, 87. So the horse that won had an 88, and he was pretty much close to the pace here, and he finished at an 88. And you notice here he did not quite finish at that pace, and so he actually came in second. Now if we were to look over here where he won, okay, this is an interesting one here, because here the race shape was 79, 85, 86, and 84. So he ran against a horse that actually won with a slower speed rating than the one on 24 August 11. Now notice here, he actually won this race, 73, 79, 85, 86, 84. So with an 84, he won the race, while here on an 87, he came in second. Notice that? Which means that this optional claim of 50K, the competition was a little less than this allowance here at 53 non-winners of 1. Now here is another example here where the race shape is 94-92, and over here you find that this one, if you notice the increase in the speed in the last 2 furlongs, 87 to 93, he really closed here. 88 to 92, 87 to 90. So you see here he's got a pretty strong closing kick here, and you can see that by how he closed here. From one, he's first here by head, first by 3 lengths, and then first by 4 1/4 lengths. So this is a very good closing horse. So a recap here on the Moss figures. You look at the race shape, fractional speeds for the winner of that race, and then the pace line, fractional speeds for the horse under consideration, and then using that information, try to predict the race shape for the race under consideration. So you're trying to predict how the race will unfold, and then find that horse with a pace line that is equal or faster than the predicted race shape. And that should be your horse that's going to be in the money at least.
This concludes the video on the Moss figures. It's the second best known speed ratings in the handicapping industry. I hope it provided you detailed information or more information to enhance your handicapping. The next series, the next video, is going to address the Lamb-Regerson sheets that are a little less well known, but nevertheless is being used. And so I hope to see you in our next video. Thank you.